So what are the symptoms of awakening? The truth is, waking up is not all love and light and just going to this enlightenment where everything is going to be okay forever. It's actually, dare I say, the opposite. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what the 4 main symptoms of waking up is and how you can have more ease with this. So make sure that you subscribe and you share this video if you know someone who is waking up. And maybe you have woken up, and this is going to help you realize that you weren't crazy. In fact, you were just waking up. It wasn't necessarily a breakdown. It was a complete breakthrough. So before we get any further into this, make sure you're comfortable, you've got your cup of tea, and let's get into the 4 symptoms of awakening. So the first one is pain in the body. The proof is in the pudding, right? And we know that spiritual beings are usually sensitive beings. We are empaths. There might be a bit of like an autoimmune thing going on in the body. We can see that there is like a dis-ease, and that can be anxiety. It can be a fatigue. It can be a literal pain, physically in the body or mentally. Now, this is up to the interpretation, but what I have noticed is that kind of like normal, everyday society don't seem to have the sensitivities of the light workers, of those that seem to go through the spiritual awakenings, those that seem to be highly sensitive to the energies and entities around them in spirit, right? So pain is something that has been prominent in your life if you are meant to wake up. Now, we can go into a victimization of, woe is me, my life has been so hard, I've had pain my whole life, mentally, physically, spiritually, or we can think, oh my God, this is me, I'm highly sensitive, I've been exhausted my whole life. Yes, I have had respiratory problems with asthma, or I've been super highly sensitive. I can't be in crowds for long. Otherwise I get a migraine. If I don't eat, I get a migraine. All these different things are a sign that you are highly sensitive and have the ability to wake up. Now, as we wake up more to consciousness, we become more sensitive. So we have food intolerances. Maybe you can't drink alcohol anymore. Maybe coffee just literally makes you bounce off the wall and then you fall flat on your face. Not like the normal people that can drink and smoke and drink coffee all day long and they are fine. This is because you are awakened and you are more in tune with your body, and your body is literally a receptor. It is an antenna for spirit and humans and emotions and waking up. You can help others wake up by simply being in their energy. And this is why it's hard being in groups of people, because you essentially are bringing your energy around, and by people being simply in your aura, they get activated. So that is number 1, pain, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Does this resonate with you? If it does, pop it in the chat box, pop it in the comments so I can have a look and see later and see how resonant we are. The second sign of awakening, of waking up, is confusion. I see this all the time. People are like, I'm confused, I'm confused, I'm confused, I'm confused. And this is because the heart and the head are having 2 different conversations and they are not in coherence. When the heart and head are in coherence, it's because you are listening to the heart and supporting the heart, the vibration, the coherence of your spirit in with your brain. So your brain is going to support your path going forward, and you're going to be heart-led. But when you are trying to get your heart behind your head, so you're trying to love what you do, but you don't, it doesn't match up. So it's very important to know that if you are confused or you're experiencing any type of anxiety, which can be confusion, it's because you're trying to control the narrative. So when you're waking up, things that don't make sense from your past are going to come up, and you're going to get confused about your belief systems. Maybe what you were told when you were younger, mistaken beliefs and limitations are going to pop up, because awakened beings, those that are waking up to a much higher level of consciousness, are needing to be a clean vessel. That means any of the old shit needs to go. So when a client will say to me, Victoria, I'm so confused, I'm like, this is a good thing. Your brain is trying to figure out what to let go of. Now, what is your heart saying? Drop down into your heart, open your heart, and ask yourself a question. Which way should I go? You find out that path that feels energetically good for you, and then you say to your brain, make that shit happen. So if you are confused, it's not a bad thing. Drop the control, come into your heart, and make a new pathway forward. The path doesn't have to be the path somebody else has been on. Create your own path, and that's why you have this gigantic heart. Heart coherence is the only way forward when you are waking up. If you go against what I'm telling you right now, you're going to stay confused, and also you're going to stay in pain, because you're trying to bring all of you, which is gigantic, by the way, because you are a spirit, you are a being, you're trying to jam it into this tiny little sensatory vessel, and then the vessel wants to explode because it can't hold all of you in there. That is what the dis-ease is. And the confusion is like, how do I make this and this match? Because when I'm looking at everybody around me, society around me, it's telling me the opposite of what my heart is telling me. Let me know how this is feeling for you. Pop it in the comments. Does this feel correct for you? Which one has popped, the pain or the confusion? A lot of people will come to me and they will say, I am so lonely. No one understands me. I'm standing in a crowd. I'm standing like here in a room, and I'm completely alone. And this is the confusion, because what you're seeing with your eyes, what you're being told and you're hearing about, doesn't match your heart. So the only way to find your truth is to come into your heart and say, what is true for me? So how are you feeling? Just doing a little check-in right now. You know, I wish I had a video like this 7-8 years ago when I was going through my awakening and thought I was crazy. I didn't know what chakra system was. I had no idea about meridians. I had no idea about Kundalini or Shakti. I didn't know about different dimensions, and honestly, I still kind of believed into the concept of heaven and hell and potentially purgatory. So all of the new stuff, going from a Catholic faith to like a New Age faith, I was always told, like, stay away from New Age, stay away from cards, stay away from pendulums. Like, that stuff is really evil, right? And when I started thinking, but this stuff feels energetically correct, my heart is pulling me in this direction, but I don't want to get indoctrinated into somebody else's system, I did get confused, and I was confused for quite a long time. So I just want to check in and see how you're feeling, and let me know, because we are a community here. So let's get into the third one. And the third one is the nervous system. So the nervous system, when we're waking up, the body is trying to process things. It's like going through a spiritual detox. We're like, oh my God, that doesn't resonate. And that, so the brain is doing all these things, right? The body is trying to self-heal itself. It's trying to clean up patterns from the past. And also it's trying to, like, we're feeling the pain, we're hearing the pain, and there's sometimes this extreme fatigue. And a lot of the times that this happens is because of the burnout that we've experienced as human beings, because we've been told to work a certain way, to be in the energy of like a soldier, of a worker, of a robot, of a machine. Like, we've been told to work our asses off to really like function in this certain system. And honestly, our humans just cannot do it. right? Our purpose isn't just to like work for the man. Our purpose isn't just to do what we're in our intelligence, like go be a hairdresser because that's you're creative and you're not good at exams. So I'm like, okay. So, like, you are bright, so go be a lawyer. Like we're being put into categories, people. How ridiculous. I thought literally I was dumb and stupid because I didn't pass school. I'm not great at literacy. I get my words backwards sometimes. And because I get tired, I get really tired. So I was like, I've got to work harder. I've got to work harder. I've got to work harder. So instead of acknowledging my body and my nervous system and the breakdowns, meaning literally having the nervous system break down, having the burnout, literal breakdown of the body, right? Where I've gone paralyzed at like 19 years old. I went paralyzed in the bath and had to call my parents, help me, because I was in an apprenticeship as a hairdresser and I was working my ass off to prove I was good enough. So the nervous system was shot, right? Completely shot at 19. And then, of course, in my 20s and in my 30s, I just kept hitting burnout after burnout after burnout. And then I had children and I was like, what the hell? When am I ever going to get a grip on this? My nervous system was screaming at me because my body has been telling me the whole entire time, you are here to wake up, which means you have to have a capacity to hold what you're doing within your system. Some people are designed to work 16 hours a day and it feels good for them, right? How many hours do you work a day? I can tell you one thing. I'm a 3-hour a day girl. Literally, I'm wearing my Ugg boots. I'm ready to go for a run. I'm going to have a spa. I've had a cacao. Like, here I am doing a YouTube video. It's so much fun. I got 3 hours of literally alignment to work, not 16 hours. So when I was hitting massive burnout, it was my nervous system that was completely frying. And when that fries, what happens is you lose capacity. You go into this kind of mode of, here is the hamster wheel. I get up at this time. I eat this. I do this. I do this. I do this. I do this. We get our diary and we fill it up and we start saying yes, 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 yes. There's no time to think because we're too busy, right? Now, some of us, we like to juggle things, right? But you've got to know that it has to be the joy. It has to be the orgasmic, like juiciness and the vibration and the frequency you're bringing to the world. It's got to be the passion, but the world does not want you to be passionate. So when your nervous system is getting fried, what do? They don't say, let's work on your nervous system and give you some time out so you can go and do your awakening and spiritually download and regulate. I only learned about regulating in the last few years, regulating my nervous system. Sometimes of the month I can have like a coffee a day. Sometimes I can have 3. Sometimes I can't have any. My nervous system tells me because it gets inflamed if I'm getting overloaded. So when you are waking up, you become more in tune with your nervous system. So if you have experienced huge amounts of burnout, maybe you've got certain fatigues going on in your world. Sometimes you have to go to sleep really early and you're like making yourself wrong for it. Like the body needs what the body needs. Your body, your nervous system has everything to do with your waking up and your awakening. You don't have your spirit separate from your body. Otherwise, you wouldn't be embodied here as a human. You're here for a mission. And if you're too fried mentally and physically to actually see that there is signs and synchronicities everywhere. It's like the world is one big oracle card. But if you've got your head straight ahead or looking down, just trying to put one step in front of the other to get through the day, then you're literally shutting off the nervous system. Because what if your body goes, ow, or I'm so tired? You're like, have another coffee, have another drink, whatever we need to do for survival. When you wake up, you come out of survival and you start listening to the body, to the nervous system. Maybe you take some herbs for that. Maybe you nap more, sleep more. Maybe you come up with the sun and you go down with the sun. Maybe you do stargazing. Maybe you start noticing the nature around you and realizing that you are an animal. You essentially are an animal. You're a breed called human beings. And we forgot our internal radar when it comes to our nervous system. And all you have to do is watch something on the National Geographic to do with the deers and the lions and the birds and the monkeys and the dolphins, and to look at the whole entire ecosystem and go, how does this work? Because we put ourselves into a house and we made ourselves some rules. We literally put ourselves into a box, and then we boxed ourselves, determining on our brain and our intelligence. If you were too intelligent, if you weren't intelligent enough, you were put into an asylum, especially if you seemed to be a little bit more expanded than most, and you were shut down very quickly. The time is now to align to that nervous system, to move your body, to eat correctly. I see too many psychic mediums that literally sit on their asses reading, not getting readings themselves, right? And they are literally just eating sugar and salt and putting bad stuff into their bodies, and they're not regulated and they're not healthy, but they're trying to fuel themselves, right? And they're not regulating the nervous system, so they get stuck in a giving mode, stuck in the system everybody else is in. So how can you regulate your nervous system? What herbs do you need? What fluids are you putting into your body? How much sleep are you having? Your nervous system is everything. And I have been healing from burnout for 7 years, and I'm still healing. But now I can handle a few nights with a lack of sleep. But I always make sure I come back in and I look after my human. The inflamed that you have, the inflammatory, the insomnia, the thoughts that are going over and over and over again, all of the stuff is about your nervous system, right? It's about your nervous system wanting you to listen to your vessel. How does that resonate with you? Have you had any of these symptoms? Pain, confusion, a shot nervous system? I would love to hear from you. And I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news here. I'm trying to be the realistic one, right? So many people are like, come with me, I'll show you the light. And then it's like, hang on, it's like Neo in the Matrix. What pill did I fucking have, man? Because this is shit. And I say this to you with love. It is worth every single thing. Do you want to go back to sleep after you've woken up? No, but you need to know how to regulate yourself, how to deal with the brain when it's telling you wrong, how to deal with those inner demons, how to deal with the disappointment of realizing that maybe you've been lied to. There's mistaken beliefs and limitations, that confusion and that pain. You can ease it up. You really can. And I've had lots of clients that have come to me with the confusion and with a lot of pain, a lot of sacral pain, a lot of during their cycle pain, and they have healed that stuff. How have they healed it? Because they realized they were holding on to so much shit that wasn't theirs. So Magic and Miracles is about you looking into you. The fourth one is all about memories. And this is something that I really wish I had been told when I was waking up. So memories will pop up. Now, it was just this morning I did a breathwork session in my spiritual membership. And as we go deep into the somatics and we get taken into a space, into a journey where we can actually relax the body and get to a space where the nervous system is calm enough to feel the feelings of the body and not the to-do list of the brain, what actually happens is emotions start stirring up. And when they stir up, we allow ourselves to breathe, use our breath, right? I highly recommend breath work. And what actually happens is a memory will just pop in, right? If you allow your brain to go on this journey and you don't judge it and you allow it to go wherever it's going to go and you keep bringing it back to its breath and you say, show me something, you are so highly intelligent, my friend. And one of the girls today said, wow, a memory came back from when I was 6 years old. And then this popped up and then this popped up and this popped up and this popped up and this popped up. And this is great because it means that you are addressing that timeline when something may or may not have happened. Maybe it was a little thought that you had right then, that you planted yourself a seed that you've gone back to rectify, to clean up, to heal. Now, I know for myself, because we're always waking up, I'm always in an awakening process. Like I say, some awakenings are big. Like I had one a year and a half ago, and then I downloaded my reborn program because I was like, oh my God, this is the big kind of baptism, the whole rectifying, the whole resurrection and rebirth. Like we have big ones that we remember, and then we have little mini ones all the time. So when you're doing a breathwork session, for instance, this is when something can come up and the memories are popping up. So often for me, I will be like, wow, I'm really with my 13-year-old quite a lot. Like she's been with me for a week. And quite often the timelines, what they're doing is they're literally overlapping. So the past doesn't really exist, right? And neither does the future. It is all in the now. So it exists in the now. So when I'm thinking about my 13-year-old self and what did she go through? What is she trying to tell me? More specifically, what does she need from me? As a 40-year-old woman, I can get that 13-year-old and I can say, sweetheart, what do you need from me? What were you lacking from those around you, from those adults around you when you were 13? So your memory becomes a truth. So if your 3-year-old self, you're like, I've got a memory from when I was 3 or 6 at the playground or whatever it is. You can go deeper into that. And this is a part of the awakening process. Memories will pop up and a lot of suppressed memories. So when this happens, how do you get support? I will quite often say to my clients, if they're like, oh my God, these memories are coming back and they're really intense, I'm like, go get support from a counselor. Go get support from a psychologist, because there's a reason why sometimes we buried the memories. And when we are ready, when we are digging deeper, when we're going into the somatics, when we're doing the breath work, when we're doing programs like magnificent mediumship, when we are literally in communities where there's light language and there's literally like deep meditations, whatever journey you're on, you are asking to open portals, to wake up. When you want to wake up, like I say, it's not, oh my God, love and light, and I'm going to go sit in the cave and meditate forever. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy as a bypasser, okay? It is a bypasser. I just want to be happy. What the fuck is happiness, okay? That is for you to discern, and you can access right now. You can be rich right now. You can be abundant right now. But it's really, really important to know that memories will pop up. Now, I've had clients that come to me and I'm like, the ones that have had the biggest breakthroughs are the ones that go, I'm having a memory about my 11-year-old self. And I go, tell me more. Tell me more. What happened at 11? They're like, how's this got to do with spiritual business coaching? What's this got to do with mediumship? It's got everything to do with it. The client that came to me who was in extreme pain in all of her womanly bits and the sacral energy, she was in so much pain. She was going to the A&E every time her cycle came. She would like go, I ended up being this psycho because I'm in so much pain, and I'm usually chills. Like for 3 weeks of the month, I'm so good. For 1 week, I'm just deeply depressed and I'm in so much pain, I can't even handle it. I've got to get like tranquilizers to kind of like pass me out for that week. She came to me to start a spiritual business. We spent 3 months working on the witch wound of the past, but also her childhood. What happened in your childhood? Who else are you carrying? She was able to dismantle by having the memories that were popping up like this. And she said, it doesn't matter. It's not relevant. I said, speak to me. Tell me what these memories are. By speaking them out, she unlocked the pain. And then she ended up having like 6 months of painless periods. Of course, she started her spiritual business because one thing unlocks the next, unlocks the next, unlocks the next. How does that feel for you? Right? So we have got the pain, the confusion, the memories, the nervous system. This is the 4 main symptoms of when you're waking up. Yes, it becomes more extreme as you're waking up. And when I said, dear God, if there is a God, I want to be conscious, like hit me, give it to me. Wrong thing to do, Victoria, because I did. My nervous system was screaming at me, screaming. My brain was so confused I couldn't sleep ever. My memories were like flooding in because Spirit, they didn't give me what I could handle. They gave me what I asked for, which was everything. So now what I do is I teach in Magnificent Mediumship Certification. I teach in my spiritual membership. I teach in my Reborn. I teach in my one-to-one containers. The metamorphosis process is a gradual one. There is a process just like the caterpillar to the butterfly. The dismantling is when you're in the cocoon. You shed, you take off the jacket just like the caterpillar. And you go, I am so fresh. And of course, that cocoon, before it hardens, the skin hardens and the monarch butterfly starts forming within with their little tiny little wing buds. It's delicate. It's green, and then it starts going brown color, right, before it cracks and you emerge. This is not much different from the human being waking up. Some people wouldn't recognize this version of me now. I've had friends literally leave my life, even though they live down the road. Why? They don't recognize the butterfly version of me. They recognize the conditioned version of me. Sure, my essence was still there. They don't like this version because this version is more amplified. This version is not confused, is no longer in pain. I have the memories and I step into them and I guide myself with my heart. My nervous system is regulated. I sleep. I never used to be able to sleep. I was an insomniac. Drinking alcohol to calm down, having coffee to stay up. And my nervous system was screaming the whole fucking time and no one would help me. I went to the doctors and I begged, please help me, because I was desperate. You don't need to break down. You don't need to die. You need to wake up. And I hope this has helped you. I hope this has helped you, because I promise you every single tiny bit of it is worth it. And I wish I had this information 7-8 years ago. I wish when I said to somebody, I'm pulling my hair, I'm feeling like I want to jump, I'm so exhausted, I could sleep for years. I'm confused. I feel guilt and shame, despair. I wish somebody said, this is normal. You're waking up. How much ease can you have with it? Hold my hand and I will help you. I will take you through this process because I've been here and you're a sensitive being. You're a being of light here to make a big difference in the world. And if you've made it this far through the video, please comment and say, I watched the whole thing. Comment. Let me see who is here. Let me see who is truly waking up, who truly is a light worker ready to do the real work. Because when people come and they listen to me and they work with me, it's not fluff. It's not go to a cave and meditate. Because what happens when you come out of that cave? It's not joining a freaking cult or a religion. It's making you your church, you your leader, you your guru. So remember to subscribe. Remember to share this video with somebody that you love. Somebody that may be in a victim consciousness that is stuck in a hole. Somebody who is like into spirituality, but they're afraid. They're afraid that their church parents or their church, like I was married in the Catholic Church, right? I baptized my children in the Catholic Church. Maybe these people believe in heaven and hell and believe that we were born sinners. And I just call a whole BS on that. And what I said to somebody, it may have been my mum, who said, I don't like what you do. I said, how can it be wrong when I'm following my heart? How can it be wrong when I love? And if I go to hell because I loved so much and I made a difference in the world for those that were going through the hardship, because the time I stood on that cliff, right? Metaphorically, I stood there and I was like, I'm going to have to jump and I don't know if I'm going to sink. I don't know if I'm going to fly, but I got children. I've got leverage for living. Thank God. I jumped. It took me a while, but when I jumped, I flew, and I flew so high. It meant that the confusion, the nervous system, all those things I was going through was worth every single thing. And now I can share it with the world so the world can have more ease. And I can tell Spirit's here because my nose is itchy. Okay, my loves. How have you found this? How's this landed for you today? If you are not yet on my Instagram or have checked out my podcast, if you're not yet in my community on Facebook, check the links below. Awaken with Victoria Bond is my brand. It's the Awaken. Come and follow me on Instagram. Come and follow me on Facebook at the Awaken Community with Victoria Bond. And of course, go check out my podcast. We've got some incredible guest speakers coming on, as well as riffs going on about all of the things that are going to help you wake up again and again and again. Until next time, my loves, namaste.